All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another stream. Today we will have the first race in round number 2 of Tom Hanks Racing Series Season 2. Today's race will take place at the Hirochi Long Circuit, and we have 8 remaining cars in the competition because last place got eliminated after the second race. Hello Great Ghost, how's it going? Switching over to Beam in just a moment. You should see it in a second. We have the Hirochi Long race circuit here. Rolling start, and we will do 3 laps with every car. And the fastest lap counts. Glad to hear you're doing good. Me too. I'm doing fine. Let me see. Okay. All right. Yeah. So Hirochi Long Circuit. It is a rather technical circuit, all things considered. This first corner in particular is also one that I am still struggling to really master. Like oftentimes I feel like I could go for it faster, but then the next time I try it, I'm going in too fast. I gotta find the sweet spot. And also this corner here, it tightens towards the end of the corner. So does this one, it also gets a little bit tighter. Yeah, I hope I'll get some good racing done as well. That was late on the brakes right there. Right, just take it easy, it's only the first lap out of 3, so... And these are practice laps anyway, so... I mean, if I'm gonna make mistakes on the practice laps, I mean, that's kind of what they're here for, aren't they? Brake just a touch later there. Hello, Tez. Really, is the audio balance off? I can fix that real quick. Give me a second here, and I'll make the game a little bit quieter. And actually, I do it in Beam because it is a little bit loud for me as well. Let's just lower the overall volume. Excuse me? Yeah, there we go. Let's not crash and damage the car. Alright, there we go. Should be good now. Oh, The audio balance should be good anyway. The line there wasn't. This is the loudest car in the field though as well, so there is that. I mean, a flat plane V8 screaming all the way up to 10 grand is it's gonna be loud at the best of times. Okay. Far away from the apex there as well. With a clean run I can definitely get under a 120, I'm sure. So let's try this again. Better breakpoint than last time. Early on the brakes there. Went on the gas a little bit too early there. I had to take the foot off the gas again mid-corner. Could have braked a little bit later again. I feel like that last part was probably better than last time. Missed the braking point there. little bit better. A little bit on the raggedy edge. Had to catch the car from the slide before turning in, and that's why I was late on the apex. But yeah, getting a little bit more consistent anyway. Let's do one more run just to really get the feel. That's what I like, when I get the car to really hook and kind of really hug the inside there while still being able to accelerate. Really early there on the braking. Be patient there with the gas. Bad line. I was really consistent with at least finishing. Now let's not get consistent with doing some things better but then spinning. Because that's not the kind of consistency that I'm striving for. Again, patient, and now we go on the throttle. Could brake a little bit later still. Now, unlike what's the first race we did, like Lakeside Park Raceway, unlike that track, where the curbs spelled pretty much certain death, they're not too bad here on Hirochi. Even on these like really low slung and stiffly sprung racing cars here. Not the optimal line for there, but I kind of had to compromise there a little because I messed up the entrance to that whole section. Let's pull it to the inside and put the hammer down. This is exactly what happens most laps. Okay, well, was pretty consistent on that one run where I did. I guess I put in like 80% or so. I was really consistent there on those 3 laps where I was like 123 point or 121.3 followed by 120.7 and then 121.0. But now that I'm trying to push just a little bit more and get closer to the 100%, now I'm more prone to mistakes. I mean, sure, overall the times aren't too far apart here either, but yeah, I'm having a harder time controlling the car because I sometimes want a little bit too much. Gotta back off a little bit. Let's get into the actual competitors though. Starting in reverse order of the current overall standings, which means we actually have 2 cars tied for 7th at the moment. We have the Durandal Cassowary and we have the Phoenix GT3. Let's start with the Durandal. Yeah, I gotta brake earlier for that corner. The thing is, this is a little bit. This is a car you really need to get used to, because it does have a pretty responsive front end, so the initial turning response is good, but then sometimes, but not every time, it'll have a little bit of a mid-corner push, like you saw there for a second that I needed to correct. And on exit it also tends to not oversteer but rather understeer, which is probably better anyway because it puts the power down, despite this being a quad turbo V12. Yeah, I'm not confident in this car. Sometimes it breaks loose on the braking, and other times it's just fine. You know, if it was predictable that it does it every time, I could work around that, you know? I think that was about right for the breaking point there. Managed to catch it. Alright, here on the straight is where this car really shines. Unfortunately, this is only a small part of the track. I really tried my best to be as tidy as possible with this car on this lap, and I did improve actually. So the best time here for the Durandal was a 1:23.499. Yeah, this is just not the ideal track for this car. I'm sorry, but I have to put it that way. Maybe it'll do a little bit better on the automation track, which we will do next week, because the automation track has some long straights and some really fast sections where the straight line performance of this might shine a little bit more. It was a 1:23.499 THRS. Okay. Next we have the Phoenix GT3 twin turbo. Now this was always the quietest car. And so now that I lowered the game volume, it's gonna be even quieter. Alright, have a good one, Grid Ghost. This feels much more set up for Hirochi than the Durandal, even though I missed the breaking point there. I'd be surprised if this isn't at least 1 second faster than the Durandal here. Well, not on this lap anyway. And probably not on this lap either. I don't know, somehow this feels quicker than it actually is. Because like here behind the wheel, I'm like, yes. Strong acceleration, good handling, good grip. But the time is like 124.781. This is not a second faster, this is over a second slower than the Durandal. It doesn't actually feel understeery. Maybe it just lacks like overall pace, and that's why you know, it feels easier and you know, good to control and everything. Is just because it lacks a little bit of oomph. Maybe, I don't know. It's got the same amount of horsepower as the other cars, so and it weighs the same, so I don't really know why that is, but same horsepower and same weight doesn't always mean the same performance, of course. So there is that. Next is the FNS Macro GT500 by THRS. Oh, the cones, I put the cones there apparently. Or are those always there? No, never noticed them there before. They were a bit too orderly for me to have put them there on the previous lap. The power band on the Phoenix is actually decent once you get up there. But and I don't think it's the downforce either, because we have cars here that have far more downforce. Maybe it is drag due to just the body choice. Oh, this was just a messed up lap here. Let's try to do a little bit better here. Good brakes. tight on the brakes there. I mean, your car has a, in many ways actually, a pretty similar engine to the Phoenix. But I feel like the gearing also makes a big difference. In that, like, your car almost has sort of motorbike-esque gearing, where the first gear is somewhat longer, and then the rest of the gears are stacked pretty close together to always be in the power band. And that's why it just feels more urgent as you go around the track. Not really the greatest laps here, I will admit. But I don't think you could say that about the other cars either. So at least I'm consistent in sucking. 123.282 as for the best lap. This is still faster than the Durandal, so yeah. Next is the Aeon A3ZC Solpier by Noodle. So I think the main difference between your car, Tez, and the Phoenix is that it's the gearing, because you've set it up so that the engine is in its power band more of the time than I feel like what's the case with the Phoenix. Oh yeah, now we get into the higher downforce cars. The ones that just stick and do what you want. Although this and the Black Widow both have one issue sometimes, and that's, yep, exactly that. But for the most part, both are lovely to drive. Now, I was gonna say maybe a a better driver than myself could get like the FNS closer to the sort of times that to the sort of times that this car would achieve, but I'm not sure that's true, because a better driver would be faster with both cars, naturally. So I don't know if that would bring the cars closer together, or if it would actually emphasize the differences and make the gaps bigger. Oh no, I wanted too much there. At least I can say that the second half of the lap was pretty damn good. But obviously I made a big mistake early on. So the best time was actually the first lap, 121.167. Yeah, 2 seconds quicker than the fastest car that went before. So I don't know. This may sound a little bit harsh, but whenever, like, there seems to be a fairly substantial gap between the top 5 cars that we've seen and then everything else. Unfortunately, there's only 8 cars left, but it almost feels like I'm playing Forza Horizon 5 with these cars, because they're so well balanced, so grippy, that it almost feels like an arcade game rather than a more simulator-esque driving experience. BeamNG, I don't know, it is kind of a sim, isn't it? Because it is, like, a lot of the physics are very realistic based. It's not arcade-like in the way that it does its driving physics. But when you have so much grip and so much downforce, it starts to feel like a more casual racing game like Forza Horizon 5. That's what I mean. Chose the wrong line there for that corner. That cost some time. I can brake even later there than I did. I thought it was already too late. So I gotta watch out at the end of that long left-hander. What happened there? I'd like to get a replay in slow motion there. What the hell happened? That broke the engine without seemingly damaging any of the car. Let's go again. Yeah, those... If it was a cone, then those cones aren't made from, like, plastic or rubber or whatever they are. But instead they're made from, like, tungsten or something. Titanium. Help the car turn around the corner with the throttle. Gotta be extremely careful with doing that in this car though, because it's got like 800 something Newton meters of peak torque and 500 horsepower all the way down from like 4500 RPM or something. Got it about right there. Oh, yep, did get the sub 120. 119.905. Now, I will say, I could have definitely gotten a little bit more out of the Aeon than the 121.1 that I did get. But also, to be 100% honest, on this track, in my hands, the Black Widow definitely felt like the superior car out of the two. These two have been kind of swapping positions back and forth in the first two races. So, but here the Black Widow was definitely the superior car. in my opinion. So now we get into the top 3. First up we have the Scarab. Now, how far away was the Black Widow from the Scarab last time? About a second, actually. It's almost ridiculous with these top cars. Like you feel like they shouldn't be able to grip and go around the corner at that sort of speed, and they just do. The car just, you throw the car into a corner and it just obeys. It just goes like, okay, fine. And just when you thought the Black Widow was impressive, in comes the Scarab and beats it by nearly a second in the first lap already. Bad line through there. Very poor line. Now, let's not get deceived here. The first lap on this previous attempt, where I then had to reset, was a 1:19.204. You can go back and watch the replay. So I will keep that as the fastest lap if I don't manage to get close to that in this upcoming third lap. Because if I don't manage to improve on the time of the Black Widow, If I don't manage to improve on the time of the Black Widow with this because I keep making mistakes, then it would be very disingenuous, very dishonest towards this car's capabilities if this ranks in behind the Black Widow. Not that the Black Widow did poorly, quite the opposite in fact. But alright, we did improve on it. 119.102. That last section right there, that last split time, I feel like I did that pretty darn well this time. 119.102. At least this one is more resilient to cones, indeed, yeah. Might not be quite as low down as the... not quite as low to the ground as the Black Widow was. Yeah. Eight tenths ahead of the Black Widow. So let's see what the Placard Corsair can do. And by the way, everyone, if you're enjoying the show, please leave a like on the stream. It helps a lot. Again, like with these top cars, it almost feels like playing a different game. I feel like I can break even later than I did there. They've got amazing brakes and obviously a lot of downforce, which helps with braking performance more than you might think. Like with this braking point right here, with the Durandal, I was braking about here, where the just a little bit before I get to the 2 marker. With this car, I braked a little bit after the 1. And there's like how much between them? Like 25 meters? That's huge. Yep, and the placard once again beats the Scarab. 118.285. We're getting into some seriously fast lap times here. Like this is probably the quickest I've ever gone around here in anything. Although to be fair, I haven't raced on this track very often before, as it probably showed. 118.285 for teacup. Last but definitely not least is the Tempus Mag Mobile by Kenshiro. And come to think of it, this in a way, this at least on a previous couple of tracks, this has reminded me of a car I have in Forza Horizon 5, namely the Radical RXC Turbo. In that, it's not the, and for the Radical I have a tune for the top of S2 class, and the similarity is kind of like once you're above a certain speed and the downforce kicks in, you can do just about any corner at seemingly any speed you want, and it's gonna stick. Because they just get so much downforce. I get this impression with this car even more so than with the previous two. Just because it has even more downforce by a considerable margin. The difference being that Radical has like 670-ish horsepower and weighs 850 or so kg. So, and is also rear-wheel drive. And so, anything lower than 4th gear in that Radical and you're going sideways. However, once you do get it into 4th or above, it can take almost anything without much braking at all. That's the difference between these cars. It's not like, obviously with the rules we've set here, these cars aren't completely overpowering what the chassis can handle. They're still well controlled, even in the lower gears for the most part. And look, I'm actually talking more while driving this car than with any other car, and yet I'm going faster than any other car too. Shows how easy it is to manage this. Like, truly impressive build by Kenshiro. Like, making a car that's fast is one thing, but making it that easy to drive is a whole nother level of challenge. And making a front engine car that doesn't stick the tail out there on throttle is also impressive with this kind of power that we're talking about here. 117.334 is the fastest lap I've managed. Well, this time actually there was actually fairly sizable separation between the individual cars. The only exception maybe being between the FNS and the Durandal. There was only 0.2 or so between them. But for the most part, every car really proved its status compared to the overall standings after the first two races. So this means there's no change in the overall standings. We have 18 points for Kenshiro, 16 for Teacup, 14 for Grid Ghost, 12 for Adderall, 10 for Noodle, 8 for Tez, 6 for Armor Motors, and 4 for Harmless. All right. No surprises this time, I have to be honest. But nonetheless, another impressive display from Kenshiro. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you again next week, where we will be racing on the automation test track. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next week. Goodbye.